Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maximo and I'm here checking out Atelier, Escha, and Logy Plus. And I'm not going to pronounce it that way again because that pronunciation in my brain is stupid. Almost every character in this game has their names pronounced in a way that I can barely tolerate. It's ridiculous. But then again, that's probably because I'm Australian and the way I pronounce Logy, or I actually pronounce it Logy, but when you pronounce it Logy, it's either an Australian TV award or something you pick from your nose. But either way, let's just hit start and actually get on with the video, shall we? So, if we go to the options real quick, there's something here that disappointed me a little. What didn't disappoint me was all the audio options, because all these options are ridiculous. I mean, usually you only need like 4 of these, and you've got like 7 ways to customize your audio balancing here, which is absolutely fantastic. Here's the problem though. They don't include the Japanese option by default. You have to actually go get it, which is kind of annoying in my personal experience because it's not actually up on the store as I record this video, and I wanted to get the Japanese voice because I've heard the English dubs in these games like 5 times at this point, so I don't really need to listen to it again, because as it goes in a Dusk game, it's the same English dub every time. But oh well. You do have a dressing room, much like the other games, where you can dress them up in absolutely ridiculous costumes. Like, look at this. Look at this. It was even worse before, because I had her in this. And where's the one that I had? I think it was it the fluffy hat? Oh no, it wasn't the fluffy hat. There it is, the magician's hat, yeah. I had her looking like this the entire time, which kind of freaked me out when a character came along who looked almost exactly the same. So I just had these 2 magicians just standing next to each other, talking to each other. But yeah, you can do this with every character, or at least not every character, but a bunch of the characters. And unfortunately, the other ones don't really have that much of a thing going for them. But yeah, as you can see, there's a magician right there who looks almost exactly the same. It's weird. It's really weird. But anyway, let's just actually get on to loading the game. I was actually going to load into an earlier game and do some, like, speech stuff, but that's probably not necessary. So, my current game has about 4.5 hours on it, and we're at the end of the second of, I believe, there's 9 sets of assignments. So, we can just go have a look at some of the Atelier stuff and the gameplay stuff and all that, because that's generally what you do in these bloody games. This is like the 5th Atelier game that I've covered on this chat. Well, not that I've covered on this channel, but that I've played. I've played a little bit of tutorial. That's my analog stick wonking out there. I really need to get a new one. I've covered like 4 of these, so it should be familiar to anyone who's been watching my channel for a significant period of time. So, let's actually get on to this. So, the Atelier games are mainly about crafting stuff. So, if we go and have a look at the cauldron over here, we've got a bunch of recipes we can make, and these recipes all take different ingredients. We gather these ingredients from the field. So, if we go into and have a look at our stuff here, they all have all sorts of different effects that you can apply to the item. They also have different attributes they apply to the item, which is those fire, water, wind, and earth, as you can see on the right side there, and underneath the stats bar. And of course, you can use all these items, and the more stats they have, the more they'll apply. So, as you can see with those bars on the right there, if you apply a specific amount of stats to a specific part of the item, you will get a bonus on that part of the item. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to actually show off an item that does that, because I actually did have one ready to go. Oh, maybe I can do it here. Let's have a look. Yes. Alright. It's going to use one of my rare items, but frankly, it doesn't really matter, honestly. Oh, well. But, yeah, as you can see here, we select all our items, and then we can toss them all in a pot. And it comes up with this little brewing screen here. Now, you choose what order you want to brew the items in, and then using the little points that you get, the element in use down there, you can actually use these skills. And these skills just do specific things to the items. So, you can, if you do things in the right order, you can use specific effects in order to do things like create more effective items, or you can make it so that an item you wouldn't be able to brew because you don't have enough CP, because it takes a certain amount of CP to brew items. you can use these skills to make sure that you do actually have, like, the ability to brew these items. Because if you add a... What's the word I'm looking for? If you do an item when you don't have the CP for it, it won't add the effect of the item, unfortunately. But now that we've actually got an item going here, we can actually... We also have a PP option, so we can up its effect, and we can also reinforce the frame. It tells you everything that it does down there. So you can do all sorts of things, and when you've got PP, you can add stuff to it. And then, now that we've got that yellow bar up to that first little line there, we'll actually get a special ability that we don't know what it is yet because we haven't crafted this item. So we craft this item, sorry about that dog, and we can apply PP, and it's also given us, I believe, a defense down L bonus for getting that high with the Earth benefit. So now that we've done that, we get level up on the alchemy, and we get new skills, which are those things you get. Ooh. There's no... Unfortunately, the balance of voice and no voice in this game is weird. All these random events that come up tend to be like a 30-70 shot in favor of no voices. It's a little strange. But yeah. There's a lot of ways that you can do alchemy. You can do all sorts of different items and combinations and boost all sorts of attributes and skills. And it's a very complex system. And I actually really like it in this game. Because it gives you a bunch of ways to make a bunch of different items. And it gets even better, as we'll see later on. But yeah, as you can see, there is a lot of cutscenes, both voiced and unvoiced. And there are a fair few voice cutscenes, and the English dub isn't bad. But again, it's a Tecmo Koei dub. It's a Dusk dub. It's an Atelier dub. It's nothing different from what I remember from the past few games. What is different from what I remember from the past few games is the story. What's the it keeps introducing stuff, too. So, alright, so yeah. Exclusive items show an icon with the face of character who can use it. Alright, so apparently only Logy can use this. Got it. Did I pronounce that right? I don't remember. But yeah, apparently I made an exclusive item, so only he can use it, which is a little bit disappointing, but nevertheless. So you've got a ton of different stuff you can do with synthesis. You can make all sorts of different items, and I only just unlocked the ability to actually, like, imbue items to make them more powerful, so I can use all of these different items that I can make them more powerful for obvious reasons, because Logy is the only one available to do that. The game actually lets you start off very quickly. Like, notably, it gets you, like, making items and actually doing your assignments immediately. Like, you'll be doing your assignments within the first hour, which is actually really nice. So the assignments are as follows. The grid in the middle is your main story goal, and you need to get that done to, you need to get that done. That's just plain simple. If you don't get it done within the, time limit, the game's not over, apparently. I haven't actually, failed, because this is the second set, and I'm pretty sure I'm still in tutorial mode. But, yeah, you need to get that done. Then you have these 8 around the outside, and they all are different things that you can usually do in the process of getting this goal. And once you've done all of them, it reveals all the ones on the outside, and once you've completed all the ones in the middle 3, you get all these special bonuses, so there is a reason to do all of these. And then you can continue on and doing all of these other ones. As you can see here, I've done most of them, and I was fairly close to going and doing the rest of this, and then going on to the third set, and then talking from the third set, but I don't think I need to. But, oh well, I've always been wrong, and I'll probably be wrong here, because that's, that's what I do. But yeah, as you can see, you've got all sorts of different things you can do. So, we can actually go and get other recipes for crafting stuff in the Atelier from other shops. So we can actually go buy books and we can go buy other recipes, and there are even recipes you can discover around the field, at least I think there is. But, as you can see, crafting stuff in the Atelier is actually really complex, and it's actually a lot more complicated than I remember, but it's also a lot easier than I remember, because the way they balance the tutorials in this game is that they really draw them out nice and slowly over the course of, like, the past 4 hours. I've been getting constant new tutorials. And you can even come back here and review every tutorial that you see, which is something that's in pretty much every Dusk game, but at the same time, I always like the idea that it's here, because it's always a good idea. And you can always come back and, like, reference stuff if you need to go and find more items and stuff. But anyway, I might as well go and explain a little bit more about the assignments. So the assignments are on a time limit. If you look up in the top left there, you can see that I've got 73 days left to do this. The thing about these assignments is that I've gotten them done stupid quick, so I've had plenty of time to focus on, like, grinding up my characters. So, like, I finished this assignment when I still had, like, 3 months left, and the game gives you 4 months, and in the last set of assignments, I had, like, 2.5 months left, so you do get plenty of time to go and do everything. So, we've got plenty of stuff that we can go do, and I will actually go and slay the Flesh Eater and the Scissor Beast in the Twilight Forest, and possibly show off Rare Material Change if I can, but, you know, that's just... it just might not happen, because it's actually kind of random. And you also get options to, like, get bombs and ice balls and craft. Now, I will leave and I will explain more stuff along the way. There isn't much to explain out here, but this is Marion. Marion is who you report your quests to, but unfortunately we haven't got any done yet. You can also come here to research stuff. So as you can see here, you can research all sorts of stuff, and once you do, you get a bonus. So as you can see, I've got bonus to my basket capacity and my gathering time, so you can come here and just research stuff. And when you get more when you finish these assignments, these tasks, you get points, and the more points you have, the more you level up, the more you level up, the more you have access to. It's quite simple, really, just like being in the Atelier. You can also come over here to Sol, or Solaire, or whatever the bloody hell his name is, and get these requests. Now, these requests are very simple things. So you can gather things like several items, and you can turn them in immediately if you've got everything you need. And as you can see, we're pretty much done. And you can also come and, like, synthesize stuff. And you'll get these items as well, which are very useful for feeding the homunculi. Now, the homunculi are weird, and I don't really understand everything about them, even with the dictionary to help me. Because it says it costs stuff to get the homunculi to help you, but I'm not entirely sure if I've even unlocked everything to do with that yet. But the main thing they do is give you adventure equipment. Adventure equipment is one of the most awesome things this series has had so far. I'm pretty sure this is new to the series, but I could be remembering things wrong. But you get the ability to take along any item that you've already made. I'm not even kidding. Like, so... No, I don't want to... Hang on. Remove. You can actually take along lots of different items. And every item that you make can be duplicated and taken along with you. That is fantastic. So you can build up a bunch of items that you will need to take along with you and everything, and then take it along with you, and it will actually, like, come out of something. I don't know what it is, because I've been doing really well and I've been getting a lot of stuff done. But if I come back here, this is even more fantastic. I don't remember this happen... Oh god, another one of these? Yeah, as you can see, these come up pretty randomly. They show up all the time, and they're full of dialogue. And yeah, they happen a lot. It's kind of silly. But yeah, we'll just skip through the rest of this because you can see the point. If there's one that's voiced, I'll slow down and I'll let you listen to it. But it really is an Atelier dub. So if you've heard an Atelier game before, you know exactly what you're in for. But you actually get paid monthly for this. I'm not even kidding. You get paid. Why you get paid? I have no idea. You actually get paid for gathering stuff and synthesizing stuff and finishing quests and all that. It's ridiculous. You get paid in actual in-game money, which is something I don't think the series has had before either, because this is actually a job according to the plot, and nothing's happened in the plot yet, so don't even bother asking. But yeah, you get paid for doing work, which is something this series really hasn't given, and it's surprisingly enjoyable. Like, you feel surprisingly accomplished getting a big payday for getting your job done, which is really nice. But anyway, let's just make this quick. So you've got the Dragonfist Tavern, which sells stuff. You've got the urban area, which has Catler, who sells stuff. And you've got the Apple House, who has Neo, who sells stuff. I'm going to go to the Apple Orchard. One, because I can get apples, because they're like a free daily gather here. So you might as well come and get them if you can. And two, I'm going to come over here and talk to a barrel.
A barrel?
They love their barrels in this game. I'm pretty sure the developers of this game would call themselves Barrelkin if they could. Like, there's another barrel over here, and the funny thing is, if I can jump properly, completely different voice clip. For no reason, but anyway. This is Clone A, whose name is pronounced Clone. Or at least that's what I would have thought. Also, she's an automaton, because look. Bloody whirly screw in the back of her head. Why? I don't know. But yeah, so this is the town, basically. There's not much to it other than a few shops and places for events to take place, but, you know, there's already plenty going on in the top 3, and you do have this quick travel, so you can go around and, like, see all the events really quickly, because it's actually quite useful. Nevertheless, we have a few assignments, and we have a few requests. And I believe these requests can actually be done in the place that we're going, so... Oh well, and we can also carry along, like, 7, but you usually can't do that. So, we can exit town now, and we'll be taken to the world map. This is where the time comes into play. So, we've left, and we've gotten all our adventure-equipped stuff, and we've got nothing in our basket. But we just got items, and we've got our formation. We'll get onto that, and status, and all our assignment and requests can be viewed here too. So, here's how the time stuff in the game works. You've got all these major areas that you can go to. And all these major areas that you can go to have different items that you can collect, and different events that you can see, and different quests that you can do, and different items you can pick up, and all sorts of different things. However, to get to these areas, you need to spend days, and this is forward and back. So it will take 4 days for me to get from Coal State to the Twilight Forest, which is, I believe, where we're going. I'm just double checking. The Green Spirit, the dog, and the Poison Squirrel. Well, we can get a stray dog there, so you know what, good enough. Oh, should I go here instead? That might be a little bit more of a challenge, which, you know, Green Spirit and Poison. Yeah, we can go up here. It's more effective use of our time. So if we go up here, we lose 4 days, and if we want to go back, we lose 4 days again. So you want to be very careful as to where you decide you want to move. Thankfully, once you're at an area, and we enter this area, we can browse around all of these areas at will, which is definitely a bonus. So we can go to any area we like, and we can do anything we like. So if I'll just make my way here, because this area has a bunch of stuff that we need to get our contracts done. And I'll probably show off some more advanced combat later on, because this is a lower level area, and I probably will just kick the ass of everything here.
Let's get started. This investigation.
Alright, so this is just the main area of the game where we'll be wandering around and doing stuff. So if we press X over these points, we'll just gather them. And if we gather them, we get the resources from them. And that little bar over on the left there, once that fills up to 100%, also we can actually, like, smash barrels and stuff. If we smash a barrel and there's an item in it, we get that item. But, oh well, and it looks like we're going to have to fight something. But once that bar on the left gets full, well, we'll have to wait and see, because this guy is not going to let us go.
Here we go.
Alright, so here's how the battle system in Atelier works. So we've got 3 characters out on the front of the field, and we've got 3 characters in the back. This has only just very recently happened, so I'm still getting used to this entire system. But the idea is, you've got these enemies, and they can all face in different directions, and they'll generally face in the direction of the enemy that's attacked them last. You've also got skills, which cost MP to use, so as you can see here, double impact, does a fair amount of damage to one enemy. We can also move our character around, and we can tell them to wait as well, and we can actually get them, we can't get them to wait anything specific, unfortunately. And we can change them with the person if they've got the back of the line. Now, the characters in the back of the line can only help with support attacks, and there was something else they could help with, but I've gone completely forgotten. And thankfully, characters on the back line actually get their HP and their MP back slowly over battle moves, so we can just go and attack people while we're at it. So, we can attack, and we can also do support attacks. So, that support bar on the bottom left fills up as you take and give damage, and once it fills up, you can do either a support attack or a support guard, and a support guard will become quite obvious later on. Now, the Atelier users can also throw items. They are the only team members that can throw items, but there are also, like, other items that... There are also other, like, abilities that non-Ateliers can use. So, are they called Ateliers? I'm not entirely sure, but crafters, you know... So, yeah, as you can see... So, yeah, might want to actually guard her because she's a pretty weak in defense, but, oh, well. So, yeah, now that we're... Now... We can actually swap out with Wilbell here, and I think I'll do that just to demonstrate a different party member. Yeah, bye-bye! And she has a completely different set of... skills. So this is the battle system, basically. You do spend like an hour or two basically having nothing, purely because... Alright, we might as well display her taking a guard stance, because... Why not, right? That bloody pose. But yeah, that also does swap them out of the line. So we will do... Shall we do it? No, we won't. We won't waste the MP. We'll just get a basic attack in, because why not?
How's this?
Ouch! That's actually a pretty good attack. But yeah. So the battle system does get engaging after a while. It just takes a few because that's just the way this game works. It just takes ages for everything to happen, and everybody gets experience and money at the end of the day, and you also get items that you gather from the thing. And as you can see, we have 3 different options there now. If we press left, down, or right on the D-pad, we can see what they all are. So we can actually check for strong foe, we can check for a relic, which is a rare item, or we can check for documents, which are unique to the area. We are going to check for a strong foe, because I'm an idiot and want to die mid-recording.
Oh, I bet if I polished it, what's this?
So we can actually get different enemies in.
There is to gather here.
And thankfully they do tell you if you've gathered everything. But anyway, so we can pick how dangerous we want these enemies to be, which sounds like a terrible idea, and it probably is a terrible idea in practice. So we'll just fight a dangerous level 23 monster to make this interesting.
You're interfering with my
Look at all these enemies! And we've also sealed away healing powers, which is bad. Which is very bad. Also, I really shouldn't have guarded with her. But oh well. Ow. We will... No, he can take a hit. He's fine. Holy shit, maybe he can't. That's bad. Oh, wow. Alright, this sounds terrible. This sounds absolutely terrible. Right, so, what can we do here? We'll probably have to throw out a skill, but unfortunately we can't really... We're gonna have to... Yeah, we're probably gonna have to take out the Alpha Silver Wolf, because that thing is strong.
think you could escape? Naive.
Probably shouldn't let it take the hit, but we did anyway, and oh my god. Oh, this was a bad idea. This was a bad idea indeed. Alright, Ice Bomb, because why not? Let's just see how much damage this does, but god, that thing only took a sliver of health from 20 damage. That's not great. Shit, get out front and guard in Catalan, despite the fact that you've basically just got a suitcase to defend yourself. Support guards are usually more useful purely because you somehow manage to take like less damage from them, but oh well. Ooh, this is bad. Well, thankfully he's back out on the fight, so... Can we... Oh my god, I'm screwed. I'm gonna bloody run for it. Running! So yeah, as you can see, there is a little bit of a downside to doing that. But that you also do find documents and other rare items and stuff, which is very useful. Anyway, let's do an Ice Bomb, because I feel emasculated and want to feel powerful again. Let's just get everybody support attacking, because why not, right?
I'll be going too. I'm not done yet.
The animation's nice, it's all nice to watch and all that. It just takes a while to get interesting, because... Like 4 hours in, and I've only just unlocked the ability to have backline characters, which admittedly makes things useful, but at the same time, it just takes a while. It's a pain in the ass. But anyway. Nope, didn't find anything, and I got hit from behind, so they get the first attack, which is a little annoying. Let's let him take the hit, because he's got plenty of health to take the hit from.
This is bad.
I know, shush. Let's just beat the shit out of everything. I know, it's not a very interesting fight, but after that last fight, I'm not taking any chances, because that was ridiculous. Let's see, let's just throw another bomb in there, because why not? And we can call in, we'll call in Cataler for support. Oh, never mind, battle's over. As you can see, it takes a lot of XP to level up at this rate, so... Also, we can actually look at a document. So if we get the document, so creatures that attack humans, despite strong eradication effort, and that's from...
This seems to be a document from a past age. It's outside of my specialty, so I'm not interested.
That woman reminds me of a person I used to know in school, which is even more hilarious considering the fact that there's another girl... actually no, this is completely unrelated, but I might as well talk about it while I'm doing a couple of fights. So, I played the demo for Arlen, the Warriors of Legend, before, on PS4. And that demo is not incredibly short, but I didn't realize that Arslan was a guy. Which is ridiculous, because I know a woman who looks exactly like Arslan. except for the gigantic eyes. Their eyes were a lot smaller. It's even more hilarious because of the fact that I've now just discovered a character in this game who sounds exactly like who sounds exactly like him, which is even weirder. But, you know, oh well.
I'll be going too.
So now that we've actually beaten the crap out of a couple of things, we can go back and actually get both the assignment and the request turned in. So, alright, let's actually go and do that, because we might as well, right? We've got to display how the game works. So if we make our way back to the entry point, and we can hold X to speed this up, so we might as well. We can do that. So while my mind's on it, I might as well talk about the, yeah, coal side, this is where we want to be. I might as well talk about the game's performance, and unfortunately the game's performance isn't fantastic either. Which, yeah, I just entered with like the 3 requisite bombs that I needed. The game's performance, on average, is not great. Thankfully, it is a turn-based combat game, which means the only place where the frame rate drops will really matter is like in the middle of the field when you're trying to attack something. So as you can see, we finish them and we get the points for it, and you know, the more points we get, the more benefits we get at the end of the day. So, yeah, the performance of the game isn't great to start with, but thankfully it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, I can understand people not feeling somewhat unpleasant at the way this game moves, just because the frame rate is so low all the time, but there's not much I can do about that. But for those of you who are just slightly bothered by it, it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, we just turn this all in because we can, and we get all these different candies for all that, and it helps us with the guys. It helps us with the Homunculi, which I believe they're called, which are just weird little fucking things. But yeah, so we get more stuff. It just, yeah, it's just a little annoying because that whole system goes kind of unexplained, even with the help to help you out with, which is kind of annoying. But I'll get over it. So let's actually go somewhere that has some more high-level fights. I probably don't want to go back to where I was and try another tough fight, but at the same time, I am a bit of a glutton for punishment, and this is a Blue Maxima video. I've got to die in-game at least once. So, let's make our way over to this new area that I haven't explored yet, and I can display how it works. Because, yes, I did just get that blimp as part of a story event, but again, it's a story event that bloody doesn't matter. So, this is actually an area that we need to unblock with a bunch of bombs, but thankfully, I do have a bunch of bombs on me. So, as you can see, we'll just use a craft, because the crafts aren't usually that useful in battle. They're more useful for blowing shit up. So, we beat the shit out of this boulder, and we can now enter this point. So we're going to enter this point. And the way this game works is that every point usually has an entry and an exit point, or at the very least, has a bunch, or at least has one entry point and exit point for areas that you can continue through. And the idea is you got to get from one end to the other, or you got to beat all the monsters. One way or another, you will unlock the next point you can go to. So the idea is you're going through, you're finding new items, you're finding new ways to use them in the Atelier that makes things interesting, and you're doing stuff that, and you're just, you know, you're learning more about the crafting system, and you're doing, and it's surprisingly satisfying. I mean, this game, even more so in comparison to the previous ones I played, like, Atelier Rorona Plus was pretty good about it, but Atelier, Christ, what was it called? The first game in this trilogy, because this is actually the second game in the trilogy, oddly enough. Christ, what was it called? I can't remember now, because I'm an idiot. Also, I can't see what the bloody hell I'm attacking, but anyway.
How's this?
Probably should have used a skill on that thing, because it's quite strong. Alright, Theresa, get in here, because why not? I like looking at your chest. You make no effort to cover up, girl. Come on. Let's see. That's probably going to get me in trouble with somebody. Alright, let's,
Did you think you could escape?
It is a surprisingly satisfying game to play because you're constantly learning, like, new stuff to do. And, oh god, I'm not going to be able to attack this thing in time. Alright, let's just attack it with a special ability and show it off. Yeah, as you can hear from this speech, it is basically an Atelier game. That's all there is to it. I really should show off, Escha's support guard, because it looks hilarious, but oh well. But you're learning how to do more stuff in the Atelier constantly, and you're thinking about, how can I make more effective item combinations? How can I do... I like this because it looks like she's about to trip over and then she's just like, save me, staff. Protect me, staff. Like, protect me, cone. But, protect me, barrel. It's kind of hilarious, but anyway.
Get out of here.
It's thoroughly satisfying learning how to do more stuff with the Atelier system, and I imagine it gets a hell of a lot better later on, purely because you can craft all your items and stuff from it. All your equipment comes from it too. I'm actually wearing a couple of items that I crafted myself, which is quite interesting. And you do get items that let you enhance the abilities of the, Christ, I really should have just done a support attack there and ended the battle, but oh well. But yeah, now he's back in the fight, so... And the battle system actually gets pretty interesting too. It's like nothing amazing, but, you know, it works. And it used to be in games like, what was it, Atelier Romana Plus, where you had to actually like hire your guys. Let's check a strong foe, and let's do a tough fight, just to make sure I don't get my ass handed to me. And even that little system there, you've been blessed by the gods. Extra speed, bloody hell, and extra attack. Alright, let's actually just beat the shit out of everything, because why not, right? You're just constantly learning of new stuff to do, and the... Wow! And the... Brain, work with me, please. And the... Just... And the way the game tutorializes itself with the... Oh my god, that's a lot of HP on that guy. Right. Let's just beat the shit out of him with a bomb. That's probably not going to do anything, but... Yeah, that did fuck all. And with the way the game lays out its tutorials, where it's just constantly, like, giving you new stuff to do, is surprising in and of itself, purely because you just constantly getting new stuff to do. Obviously, for someone who's a big fan of the Atelier games, that's not going to mean much, and I'm sorry for those people, because I'm not hugely into the Atelier series, but it's just kind of I'm sorry, I thought I just heard something at my door. But for a game, like for someone who's not very interested in the Atelier series, this is actually really interesting, which is really annoying because it's the second game in the second trilogy. It took them 5 games to figure out how to get the new player experience right. But then again, I imagine people will be annoyed by the tutorials, but then again, in this game you can skip every tutorial you don't want to see, which is actually really useful. You know what, I'm going to switch you out because you are not very useful, and having a huge area of effect attack right now with Wilbur would actually be really useful. Also, you are a really cocky woman. That's... Alright, let's see. Oh, well, then again, I don't really need that. I wish I had a better view of the battlefield, honestly, because it's kind of hard to tell who's in range. Yeah, but I don't. It appears that I can't really get them to be in range of anything. So, alright, we'll just cast this out there because there's a ton of extra attack behind that one way or another. And she brings in a spirit, and unfortunately that does take time to cast, so oh well. But yeah, if this wasn't like the second in a bloody 5-game series so far, I'd be extremely tempted to say, this is probably the game you should start out with if you're interested in Atelier, because it balances the gameplay to dialogue ratio somewhat well enough, and I'll just throw this bomb, because why not? It does jack shit, I know, but oh well, let's just like get attacking, because why not, right? Because it does the tutorializing well, it slowly lays out everything, it's very easy to understand, and it just does everything really well, which I like a lot. It's very good at what it does, and it's very good at balancing itself out. So, you know, very good. Very good effort, and I am enjoying myself quite a bit, and I might actually continue playing this entry. I didn't continue playing the other ones, but I might actually continue playing this one. Because it's very light on the amount of time, it's very easy on the amount of time you have to actually continue. It's very light on the time you have to do all your assignments. So you have time to like learn how to craft and synthesize stuff, and you have the ability to avoid all the hard stuff if you want until you're ready to take it on, and it's just a really well-balanced game for newcomers. Like, hardcore veterans might not be that pleased with it, and I can understand why, but for those of you newcomers who just want to see what the game's like, well, you've probably got a really good game to work with here. Which is nice. It's nice to have a game focused at the new people.
Materials somewhere before. Interesting to find them here.
And I really don't have that much else to say about it. At least based on the first 4 or 5 hours that I've spent with it at this point, I am enjoying it tremendously. It's got really nice presentation. It's got a decent dub. I mean, it's a bloody Atelier dub, so that's what it does. Alright, we're gonna have to beat the shit out of this monster to turn to this next area, so why the hell not, right?
Have no choice.
It's a really good game. Like, for people who want to experience this series.
I'll make this quick. Yeah. Shoot. Take that. Sleep peacefully.
That only did 25 damage. Bloody hell, these things must be strong. Running headbutt, 3 to get out here.
Side.
Also, I hope you're enjoying the 1080p footage, because I just got a dual monitor setup going, so I can actually do this somewhat realistically now. So, it's quite nice. That happened when you didn't even open your mouth, honey. That was weird. Someone's gonna put me in trouble for that. Should I change? Yeah, I should change.
Time for a little break. Leave it to me.
Alright. But yeah, if you haven't played Atelier before, if you want a good place to start that isn't Rorona Plus for whatever reason, this is definitely a good place to start just because of the way, just because it's really well balanced, and I quite like it. So, really well balanced to the newcomer. And it's, you know, it runs fine, and there's going to be a Japanese dub in there, so the people who wouldn't buy it normally for not having a Japanese dub don't have something to say there. It's a bit weird that I don't have, that I can't download it. I thought it would have been up by now, but oh well.
Do our best.
But yeah, I'm going to end the video here because I'm just waffling on a bit at this point, so that was a look at Atelier, Escha, and Logy Plus. Perfectly fine game, and yeah, for some reason I was just able to exit that area immediately, go straight on to the next one, but oh well. Atelier Garden Ruins, and I need to blow up a 50 boulder. But yeah, thankfully I can actually save out here, so I will save, because I do plan on coming back to this eventually. Unfortunately, the next few days are going to be a bit busy, and by that time I probably would have forgotten about this, but oh well. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.